Americans return to space as Discovery clears the tower.
Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight of the orbiter Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Rocket point, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground.
Discovery Houston, we're still looking at it.
Discovery still on its way to orbit after a successful ascent up through main engine cutoff.
Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Discovery clears the tower.
Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight of the orbiter Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Rocket point, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground.
Discovery Houston, we're still looking at it.
Discovery still on its way to orbit after a successful ascent up through main engine cutoff.
Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Liftoff. Americans return to space as Discovery clears the tower.
Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight of the orbiter Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Rocket point, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground.
Discovery Houston, we're still looking at it.
its way to orbit after a successful ascent up through main engine cutoff.
Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Okay, we are live. I'm not doing any intros. Hell with all that. We're just gonna get right into the stupidity here. This is a video I found quite a bit back on CNN. Now, little backstory for those of you who don't know: Louis C.K. is a comedian, and a few years ago he got in trouble because it was revealed. I think it was like late 90s, early 2000s. Apparently his kink is a woman watching him, let's just say, enjoying himself, if you know what I mean. And apparently he did this with 2 women. Now, there's been conflicting reports. When it first came out, it was said it was consensual. Now, years on, it said it wasn't. I honestly don't know. I'm inclined to believe that it was, but like I said, I just don't know. But Louis kind of went away for about a year or so, came back, has been doing self-published specials and touring, selling out left and right. And people don't like that. They think that if you do something bad, there's no path to redemption. There's no path to, getting your life back. It's like if you do anything at all, you're just supposed to go away and leave forever. And the thing that gets me is people keep talking about Louis C.K. like he's Harvey Weinstein or Bill Cosby or some shit. No, he's not. It was wrong for 2 reasons. One, he was married, so, cheating on your wife is never a good thing. It's always a douchey thing to do. And 2, these were women that he had authority over. It's co-workers that he was in a higher rung. I'm not even I don't know whether it was a TV show or what, but he had authority over them. That's the worst part of it. You do not take advantage of your position like that. However, it's like Louis has obviously moved on. Whether you believe he should have left forever, or he didn't do anything wrong, or whatever you believe, that's irrelevant. It's like, because Louis is still performing and he's still selling out and he's still making money, and there's still obviously people who are, how should we say, fans of him and still want to enjoy his comedy and still want to give him money for access to said comedy, which is perfectly fine. Whether you think he's a prick who should go away, or you still think he's funny and you want to listen to him, fine, whatever. Irrelevant to the situation. Louis has the right to still continue to live. That's what I'm saying. This article right here is a CNN interview by a comedian, and I use that term. God damn it, I had to crop the fucking video. Comedian. And I use that term in the loosest possible sense because we'll see some of her comedy here in a minute. But, yeah, let's just get into this.
Public backlash growing after Louis C.K. won a Grammy for Best Comedy Album 4 years after admitting sexual misconduct.
It was a pretty funny album, I'll be honest. I listened to it. It was on Spotify. I believe it still is. But yeah, I thought it was hilarious. So what can you do?
Allegations by at least 5 women. He admitted they were true. Comedian Mona Shaikh wrote this op-ed in The Hollywood Reporter, quote, "It's a slap in the face of all the brave women who came forward. Why is Louis C.K. getting a pass while many women comics aren't even let in the door?"
Okay, first of all, he wasn't given a pass. He was raked over the coals. Deservingly so. So was the man just not supposed to exist anymore? Is he just supposed to sit over in the corner and like, can I come out now? No! You can't come out. Okay, I'll go back in my room. No. Because look, folks. Everybody deserves a chance at redemption. Everybody deserves the opportunity for forgiveness. And like, there's just going to be some people who aren't going to forgive you at all. So you have a choice to either revel in the fact, or sulk in the fact, rather, that, you know, these people won't forgive you, or you can just get up and move on. Say, hey, I'm sorry you won't forgive me, but I've forgiven myself. I've learned from my mistakes. I'm going to get on with my life.
It all boils down to the gatekeepers, she says. And Mona is joining me now live from Los Angeles. Mona, I thought this was a really important column, and I wanted to hear you expand on it. Tell me who the gatekeepers are and what that system is.
Okay, I've watched some of this, and I'll tell you right now. The gatekeepers, as she's defined it, are a group of people that keep women out of comedy. When in reality, they're people that, you know, I'm just going to let her go on because she talks about this and I'm going to chime in.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Brian. I really appreciate it. I feel like a lot of people don't really quite understand how the comedy world.
Okay, I've watched quite a few videos by her. And I got to tell you, she doesn't normally talk like this, because when I first listened to this, I'm like, okay, maybe she has some kind of a speech impediment. Maybe she has some kind of neurological disorder. Let me look into this before I rip into how she talks, just to make sure that, you know, she doesn't have some medical condition that, you know, she can't control, because I don't want to make fun of somebody for that. You know, that's fucked up. But no, she doesn't normally talk like this. She talks like she's constantly on the verge of tears. It's like, bitch, it's like, get yourself together before you go on international TV. I mean, I know it's weird talking in front of an audience, especially one this big, but you're a comic. You're supposed to, like, that's your business. Okay. I just had to get that little tidbit out of the way.
Works in the background. You have to understand that in order for you to even get to a place where you can even get a Grammy, first you have to get through the door at a comedy club and get selected.
Yeah, you got to be funny. Because guess what? If you're not funny, nobody comes to the club, and the club doesn't make money. Kind of how capitalism works. That fucking phrase for that phrase for it's like, you know, talent. What the fuck is that? Meritocracy, that's it. I think that's what it's called. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, basically it's like, hey, if you're talented, you'll get in. There's plenty of talented female comics. And the ones who aren't complain like her. So
so if you're not even getting that opportunity, forget about ever even having the opportunity to even, you know, ever be even nominated for a Grammy.
You have to have talent to be funny. Funny people get put on stage at comedy clubs. People see you, they give you opportunities, and that's how you end up making a Grammy. But if you don't have that initial talent, sorry, it's like, you know, I don't know what to tell you. It's like, I would love to be able to sing or act or whatever, but my voice is terrible, as you can obviously tell, and I can't act for shit. So, sorry, that would be like me going up at a spelling bee and not being able to spell the word is and say, you haven't given me the opportunity to win. It's like, yeah, I did. You just don't know what you're doing. Like, if you spell the word is, F37, and they say, no, that's wrong. It's like, no, you just haven't given me the opportunity to be right. No, it's like, you're not talented. You don't know what you're doing. It's the same way here. If you're talented, you're funny, you'll get into a comedy club.
The gatekeepers, let me just be further clear about.
The gatekeepers are the boogeyman she's given to, she'll say here in a minute, the managers, the club owners, the event planners, who she says are keeping women out. It's like, no. They want talented people to put on stage and thus be able to make money. Sorry. Like if somebody was running like a Chippendale style like strip club and I came up there with my gelatinous beer gut and like big jiggly man titties and demanded a job, it's like, no, because women don't want to pay to see big fat fucks that are sausage, snowman shaped sausage casings. They want to see fucking oiled up dudes with like big muscles and abs and shit. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Sure.
The gatekeepers is not just limited to the comedy club bookers. It's agents, it's managers, it's representatives, it's executives. They are
Representatives, also known as, it just said it twice,
all part of the problem. The issue is that the system is broken and it needs to be repaired.
No, it's not broken. It's just, you're not funny.
You wrote in your column that the boys club is not just made up of boys. It's made up of men and women who favor boys. And that's a really interesting...
No, it's made up of men and women who are funny and talented. Sorry. It's like, this is just somebody who wants success handed to them without having the talent or the effort put behind it.
An important distinction.
That is correct. That is correct.
No, it's not.
If I talk about this in the op-ed piece, about the fact that I was at the New York Comedy Festival last year, and I just happened to be at the Comedy Cellar, which is a very prestigious comedy club.
Which is really hard to get into because it has a reputation. So they're not going to put shitty comics on stage because they have a reputation to protect. Let's see where this is going.
If you are a big comedy club, a comedy lover, or you are a stand-up.
Oh my God, it's like she's like on the verge of tears. It's like watching Jordan Peterson talk about fucking butterflies or some shit.
Comic, you understand how prestigious the Comedy Cellar is. And I was watching Louis C.K. saunter in and out for like 4 days straight. And
yeah, because he's popular and funny. And people will come to see him. A comedy club owner and a booker and a manager are going to put popular, funny comedians on stage because they want to get asses in seats, not only for the cover charge, but to sell drinks and make money. Not that fucking difficult.
It was really alarming to me where I'm like, wow. I'm like, all these opportunities that are being given to Louis C.K.
They weren't given to him. He earned them, you dumb bitch. He's funny. He has the talent. Oh my God. All right. Jesus. There's fucking 21 seconds left. Let's just get through this.
Could have easily been given to so many female comedians who would absolutely love the opportunity to go.
Oh, I'm sure they would love the opportunity. I'm sure they would. A lot of comics would love the opportunity, but guess what? Most people that get into comedy aren't funny.
And hone their craft to even get on the path to even possibly one day be nominated for a Grammy.
Okay, yeah, so another little poor little me routine. Let's look and listen to some of the comedy this chick puts out. Oh God, fuck.
You can't tell me like I'm gonna walk around looking like this and that's normal. Like I'm gonna freak some people out, right? I can't show up to the airport and be like this and be like, trust me.
Hi, my name is.
Yeah, notice how little laughter came from that. I mean, there was some, but there wasn't a lot. Let's go on.
Shake, and I'm a stand-up comic.
That's debatable.
I would say like my comedy's evolved quite a bit. I think I definitely went from like the topical side of comedy about, talking about cultural stuff or talking about my mom. Now I concentrate a lot on political stuff and religious stuff.
I know some of you guys are looking at me, you're like, what kind of Mexican is this chick? Not Mexican.
Wow. Absolutely no reaction from the crowd on that one.
Mexican, you guys. I'm not. I come from a land of virgins. It's also known as Pakistan. And for the longest time, I wondered why our men are so obsessed with virgins, and it boils down to the fact that they just don't like criticism. Yeah.
I was born.
Wow, not only was that a dumb fucking thing to say, but nobody laughed. Like, there was nothing. Nothing. Which begs the question, can you be considered a comedian if nobody laughs at you? Holy shit.
Pakistan, in Karachi. It's a southern city. It's very much like LA, actually. I moved to New York when I was 15 years old. I did not choose comedy. Comedy chose me.
No, you chose comedy because you're not funny. Comedy would not choose you.
I did not, I was never, first of all, stand-up comedy was not like...
You were never funny? I know.
A thing that you pursue in Pakistan, right? That's not a thing.
There are plenty of comics that come...
And growing up, that's not, I didn't even really know about the art of stand-up until I moved to America. And I went and did my first 5 minutes at Comics Comedy Club in New York, and I just kind of haven't looked back since.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have.
Wants to do Muslim ban, That's a very interesting thing. He got everybody scared. He's like, the Muslims are coming. I'm like, where? I'm like, oh shit, I'm Muslim. Oh yeah. Woo! Got me a little scared.
Wow, there's like no response at all. Holy shit. Like the chit chat at the tables is more audible than any form of laughter or anything. Oh my god, this is fucking awful. And this bitch thinks she deserves a Grammy.
He's talking about, man, I'm just having Cheetos at home.
The wonderful thing about Trump,
who gives a shit if you're having Cheetos?
Being president is that the material is endless. It's just great. I know that.
No, it's not. I mean, the material is, but funny material isn't. And you obviously don't understand that.
He now is, he's going after certain minorities, like he's going after like Muslims, like a big.
What the hell does this have to do with your stand-up comedy?
Muslim thing, like banning 7 people from 7 different countries, and you just kind of look at this kind of stuff, and he's talking about like doing the.
I mean, I want to make it abundantly clear that yeah, it's fucked up, and Trump is a subhuman piece of disgusting dog shit. I can't stand the man. I loathe his existence. So I don't want anybody to think I'm some kind of Trump supporter. I absolutely despise the fucking pustulas anal wart. So I want to make that abundantly clear right now.
Muslim registry, and I can tell you as a Muslim, like, I don't care. Yeah, like, if he wants to give me like a Muslim ID card, I don't care. I'm just gonna have a picture of my ass on it, and I'm gonna ask him to kiss it every time I show it to him.
I know.
That's supposed to be funny. I don't think this lady understands what a joke is.
We have an orange person in the White House now.
Oh, wow. Calling Trump orange, that hasn't been done before.
I personally like to call him the Orange Hitler.
Everybody's called him Orange Hitler, you idiot.
Hitler 2.0. It's
that one's been around too.
It's very interesting. I just want to know the woman who got him in office, Kellyanne Conway. Why does her face look like?
No, the woman that got him into office was Hillary Clinton. She ran the worst, absolute worst presidential campaign in human. It was just absolutely awful. When she came out with that stupid bag of deplorables line, like, she just thought she could waltz right in. She put no effort into her campaign. And say what you want about Orange Julius Caesar, he took advantage of that.
It won the ice bucket challenge. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I tend to keep it kind of
Congratulations, you got an idiot to laugh.
very light and topical. I do talk about some of the cultural things that are kind of screwed up and need to be kind of confronted about, about misogyny and or sexism or racism.
Yeah, because that's funny, right?
I'm not afraid to talk about stuff like that, and most of them agree with me.
I tell you right now, I am all for fighting misogyny. I'm all for fighting racism and sexism because I'm not one of those idiots that says they don't exist. However, and I don't even mind a comic talking about them. It's just, you gotta be funny with it. It's gotta flow naturally. It's like, listening to her comedy, I feel like somebody's like reading me building code or something. Like, I'm in a place where I'm supposed to laugh, but somebody's telling me things that are supposed to be funny, but they just aren't. You can say things that can be humorous, but the delivery is also part of it as well. She doesn't get either of the side of that equation. In my opinion.
They applaud me and they cheer me on. So that's been a good reception.
Really? I heard one guy laugh so far in this entire video.
But I think where my comedy's headed now, I don't know.
Into the dollar bin at the local car wash?
We'll find out, if I end up with, tomato stains on my clothes, I think what happened.
Don't throw tomatoes at people, first of all. Second of all, we'll know what happened is you're not funny or talented. Again, that's just my opinion. Same thing like I said with Louis C.K. If people think you're funny, I might think they're stupid. But hey, if they want to pay to see you, or they want to pay for your stupid t-shirts or your albums or DVDs or whatever, fine, go for it. But you have as much right to exist as Louis C.K. does. Okay, that was awful, and hopefully we never have to think about her existence ever again. So let's move on to something else a little, how should we say, cheerier, like PragerU. Yay. PragerU. Oh, nope. Nope. This add-on's supposed to make it full screen. In the frickin'... whatever.
There's a Latin phrase that helps explain why. The phrase is...
Okay, hold on. I think I accidentally fast-forwarded there. Hold on a second. Okay. For those of you who don't know, PragerU is, first of all, it's not a university. It's a ultra-right-wing conservative think tank that does nothing but spread misinformation and propaganda. So I just want to make that clear too.
It's hard to imagine how we could screw up higher education any more than we already have.
Okay, I'm with you so far.
But we're about to, if we make student loan forgiveness a reality.
Yeah, because God forbid we forgive student loans, right? God forbid we forgive student loans and put in a program where we can develop our society, or better yet, our government, to where, hey, you know how we're the richest country in the history of human existence, but we still force people to go into thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loan debt in order to get an education in which they're going to have to spend the overwhelming majority of their post-education lives paying back. It's like this constant fucked up cycle we have going on here. God forbid we do something to improve that, right? God forbid we emulate almost every other westernized country on the planet who gives their citizens the access to free, high-quality education, right? Jesus Christ, we're 9 seconds into this fucking video.
There's a Latin phrase that helps explain why. The phrase is cui bono, who benefits.
Everybody. Everybody benefits, because when you have people who pursue higher education, then they benefit. Everybody benefits. When you have a society that, how do I put this? I'm trying to dumb this down so idiots who watch PragerU can understand. When everybody has access to high quality education, they become smarter and are able to make better decisions and might do something with their lives that then benefits everybody. Okay? Because conservatives like PragerU, they only think about the money. The money, cash. That's what they think when they say benefit. What she says, who benefits, she means who makes money. That's what she means. I hate how I've had to crop this, because the green screen back here, like, it's not wide enough for me to do a 16:9 thing, so I have to crop the video in order to, keep from showing, like, the whole rest of my room. It just looked really fucking weird. Anyway, let's go.
In the case of student loan forgiveness, it's first and foremost the colleges and universities who can charge outrageous tuition, largely paid for by student loans.
Yeah, so here's an idea. How about we tax the shit out of these fucking assholes who make billions of dollars every year, who pay a lower percentage in taxes than the average person does, and use that to fund healthcare and education and, low-cost housing and all that other stuff that most other, developed westernized countries provide.
Second, politicians who make cheap promises.
Okay, I'm going to jack this up to, because I swear I'm going to lose my mind if, okay.
Debt forgiveness to win votes. And third, students from upper middle class families who would get taxpayers to pay off their student debt.
Good.
Who doesn't benefit? Everyone else.
Everyone benefits from this. Everyone benefits because when you pay taxes to help enrich everybody, everybody wins. Stop thinking about just yourself, you dumb bitch. Everybody wins when we have a country that's more well-educated. We rank among the bottom in science, in math, in reading, literacy. Almost every metric when it comes to, we're either like in the middle to like upper middle to like the very bottom, which means we're a bunch of idiots.
That includes those who didn't go to college, and a new class of suckers, people who went to college and paid off their student loans.
How many normal people paid off their student loans? How many people who went to college and bought the bullshit got a job that pays well enough to pay off their student loans?
Student loan forgiveness is reverse Robin Hood. It takes from the poor and gives to the rich. The most obvious...
No, it doesn't. Like, that's so unbelievably stupid, I don't even know how to articulate it into words about how stupid that is.
His argument against forgiving student debt is that no one forced anybody to borrow money for college. Why then should others be forced to pay it off?
Because we live in a society where capitalism has their hand in fucking everything. Your education, your food, your house, your criminal justice system, your healthcare, all things that should not be part of the profit motive.
Before you think I'm going to go all tough love on you, let me say, I have a lot of sympathy for young people who have dug themselves into the student debt hole.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You despise their very existence. Don't fucking lie to me.
I'm one of them. For decades, our society has made the claim that you need a college degree to get ahead in life.
Yeah, and that's bullshit.
The smart bet was to take out any amount of loans to ensure a bright future.
No, the smart bet is to take out as many grants as you can because you don't got to pay those off. See, I went to college in 2008, And I ended up dropping out because it was either the job that I eventually was able to get, because I originally started going to college because I started college right, like I got out of high school right when, 2006, 2008, when the economy started going down the tube and unemployment was at an all-time high. And I'm a dumb just out of high school kid with no job experience. Nobody wanted to hire me. So for that about a year or two, it was like, hey, either go to college and get grants or be hungry and homeless.
And if you need help with the tuition, Uncle Sam, the U.S. government, stands at the ready with his generous student loan program.
Generous my aching ass. Because altogether, I took out about $10,000 worth of student loans. However, I owe them about $15,000 because of interest that is piled up. And here's the kicker. Even though I've worked at the same job, because I dropped out in order to devote more time to my job because I was falling asleep at work. I've been working at that job for almost 15 years. And I make so little at that job, despite being there almost a decade and a half, that my income is so low. Because the way student loans work, you can get what's known as an income-based repayment plan, which means they base the amount you pay on your loans based on how much you make. Oh, shut up. And my payment has been so low for so long that it's only been like just before COVID where I had to start making like a $20 payment a month. The only problem is, well, one of many problems actually, that doesn't even come close to touching the balance. My payment is so low that I have absolutely no way whatsoever of ever being able to pay back those loans. It's like the worst fucking... Despite me having to have filed for bankruptcy, I cannot get rid of those student loans. It's like herpes. They won't go away no matter what you do.
Just fill out a few forms, and presto, there's a check in your mailbox. You're off to college. But here's the dirty secret. For every dollar of student loan money the government makes available, university tuition goes up by 60 cents.
Yeah, that's because we haven't done anything to regulate it.
Colleges and universities don't see college loans as a problem. They see a gravy train.
Yeah, that's the problem. We need to fix it.
Most college administrators may be cowards, ready to cave before every politically correct fad, but they're not.
Just had to sneak a little bit of political correctness in there, didn't you? You know, a little bit of the culture war.
Dumb. If the government is going to loan you money to go to college, they can raise tuition virtually at will. You can afford it, just borrow more.
That's the problem. We need to fix it. Here's an idea. Forgive all federal student loan debt and put in a system where we tax these people. Like, you could tax Jeff Bezos at 50% of what he makes and he would still be a billionaire. His overall value would still go up every year. Okay? The fact that, I can tell you right now, the average person bagging your groceries between state, local, federal, and Social Security taxes is probably paying a higher percentage of their money in taxes than most corporate CEOs.
And what do the universities do with all that tuition money? Build more buildings, hire more administrators. Hey, somebody has to pay for all those diversity, equity, and inclusion officers, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, they take the money and reinvest it into the school. It's kind of the point of a school.
Cui bono.
Who benefits?
Meanwhile, you stagger out of college with a degree and a boatload of debt to pay off to get the same job and salary that a decade ago didn't require a bachelor's.
Here's the problem. Like, all she's doing is just repeating the same shit. It's like, we have a fucked up system. Let's fix it. Forgive federal student loan debt and create a system where people don't have to go pay a cent or go into massive debt in order to get a decent education. Because people like her want people to be stupid so they don't have the mental capacity to think, I'm working my ass off 40 hours a week at a backbreaking menial job where I'm treated like shit, not appreciated, and I'm barely able to pay my bills, despite the fact that the person who owns the company I work at is a fucking millionaire. They don't want people to have the ability to figure that out.
What a great way to start off your adult life. If you fit that profile, you're very likely to favor student loan forgiveness. And who can blame you? With a simple stroke of a pen, some or all of your debt goes away like it was never there.
Just like it should be.
And the least you can
Never should have been there in the first place.
do in return is vote for the politicians who made it possible. At least that's how the politicians see it.
Yeah, because God forbid that a politician actually does something for their constituents, and the people and their constituents look at that and go, huh, that guy really did something in government that benefited me. I want to keep him in office so we can do more things. But who would have fucking thunk, right? Like somehow a person voting for somebody who does something good, especially something good for them, is a bad thing. Yeah, like all these fucking rich cocksuckers who donated to Trump's election, Yeah, they just did that out of the goodness of their heart, to help a friend. They didn't do it because they knew he would lower their taxes and, fuck over workers and all that other shit. No.
We won't.
Fucking hypocrisy, man.
No. But who's going to pay for your good fortune? The taxpayers, of course.
No. With the way that's been proposed, they'll increase higher taxes. They'll increase taxes on people who make hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars a year. To help benefit everybody. Because again, when we have a smarter population, that raises the quality of life for everyone.
Most modest debt relief proposal out there right now, $10,000 per borrower, would cost $300 billion. To wipe it all out, $1.8 trillion.
Yeah, and how much did the fucking war in Iraq? Hold on, let's look that up. Can't even type right now. Cost of war in. Hold on. Cost of war in Afghanistan. Let's just go off. Cost of 20-year war on terror, $8 trillion and 900,000 deaths. $8 trillion for a war that accomplished absolutely nothing. And this bitch is complaining about $1.8 trillion to benefit American citizens? Get scurvy and die, you sociopathic twat.
And a lot of those taxpayers will be working class people who didn't go to college. In many cases because they didn't want to take on all the debt.
Yeah, because God forbid I'll tell you this right now. I pay taxes that go for everything around me, fixing the roads, all that other stuff. If there's a pothole in the middle of the road in some rich neighborhood, my taxes go to help pay for that. Your taxes go to benefit everybody. Not just you, not just the people you like, not just the people you choose, everybody. And again, everybody benefits when not only there's smarter people, but there's fewer people with debt because they're able to invest more and able to pump up the economy even more. That economy that you stupid dipshits just love to fillet constantly?
That's why despite easy student loan access from the government, people in the lower and middle
Easy student loan access, my ass. You realize the amount of paperwork you have to go through to get that shit?
classes make up a smaller percentage of college students than they did 50 years ago. The reality is that loan forgiveness...
Yeah, because not only is college degrees not as required as they used to be, but college is becoming more expensive. And even though people want to go to college and get better jobs and become smarter, more productive people, members of society, they can't because they know they'll be straddled with thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. Like the fucking, like, either the lack of self-awareness, or just the absolute just picking and choosing or twisting of the fact, like the mental gymnastics here is fucking insane. Like the mental contortion you have to do to think that this bitch is in any way, shape, or form correct, or even remotely just knows anything about what she's talking about is fucking insane.
Overwhelmingly benefit the already well-off. It's projected that for every dollar of debt cancellation that would go to the lower middle class and impoverished student loan holders, 7 times that would go to the top 20% of earners. The
citation needed. Do you give any citations here? Oh, they put the entire script. Oh no, they put part of the script. Yeah, no citations whatsoever. No citations whatsoever.
Accountants and doctors who borrowed heavily for their degrees. This group also includes the people who staff government bureaucracies, corporate HR departments, and school administrations. The people chief... School
administrators don't make that much more money than the teachers. I mean, they're better off than the teachers, but they're not fucking wealthy fat cats. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Responsible for the woke mini revolutions, upending institution after institution.
Again, it all comes down to triggering the libs. That's all these fucking people care about. And, you know, brainwashing people and so they can run off with more money and make them think that, you know, they're on their side.
For this managerial class, student loan forgiveness would be great. But is it fair? Cui bono?
Yes, it's fair. Just reinsert, you know, benefiting everybody thing that I've said 500 times in this fucking video.
Student debt is a real problem.
No shit.
And it requires some real solutions.
No shit.
But blanket loan forgiveness makes everything worse.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, because, okay, guess what? You know, when you forgive a debt that somebody shouldn't have had in the first place, not only do you give them more money to invest in the economy, but you also improve their quality of life because they don't have the stress of this cloud of stupid fucking undischargeable debt above their head, you stupid bimbo.
And rewards exactly those actors who have had such a large hand in creating the crisis, especially the opportunistic universities and politicians.
The boogeymen that you fuckers love to just...
Instead, we should focus on 3 common sense reforms.
Okay, this should be good. Okay. Hold on. Let me hydrate here real quick. Let's see what her 3 common sense reforms are.
1, reduce college tuition.
Okay.
And availability of student loan funds going forward. We have to...
Hold on. She wants to reduce tuition, which, okay. But then she also wants to reduce the amount of student loans that people can get so fewer people can go to college. What? Let's let her talk some more, because that makes absolutely no fucking sense.
Break the vicious cycle of ever-increasing tuition and ever-increasing government loans to pay for it. 2, we should target limited relief to lower and middle-class Americans who have been sold a bill of goods about the value of an expensive university degree.
Target limited relief? What the fuck?
3, not the lawyers, accountants, and bureaucrats who have already benefited from the system.
Everybody deserves to benefit from an education. Here's an idea. How about we just get rid of the concept of for-profit colleges? Or at the very least, increase the taxes on the rich assholes that you guys love to just fucking worship, so everybody can afford to go to school. You know, like every other fucking modern westernized country on the goddamn planet does, you stupid anal wart.
3. Relief should come from rich universities, not middle-class taxpayers.
No, relief should come from these blood-sucking vampires who suck off the teat of government subsidies and make millions, if not billions of dollars a year at the expense of the lower and middle class that you guys claim to fight for.
Yale, for example, has a $42 billion endowment. Universities have taken advantage of the problem, and it's time.
No shit. Which is why we need to completely overhaul the entire system.
For them to contribute to the solution.
Contribute to this. They say what you want about colleges, like they're a business. So we either need to increase taxes on rich assholes so everybody can benefit from a higher education, or we need to just completely overhaul the entire educational system, or higher educational system rather, so money isn't even an issue when it comes to getting a better education.
Cui bono. I'm Inez Stepman, Senior Policy Analyst at Independent.
Eat a dick and die. Okay, no, I can't go straight into another PragerU video. So, let's go into something even dumber. Ben fucking Shapiro. Okay, let's see how fast two times speed sounds. Let's see how that goes.
When reviewing the record of the Biden administration on foreign policy.
Oh, okay, wow. No. Let's go 1.5. 1.5.
Let's just review for 1 second where foreign policy was when Joe Biden took office. So there was no open war with Russia, for example. There was no open conflict with China. There was a crackdown on China that was happening. There was a move towards strengthening sanctions against Russia that had been happening, and stronger movement on Russia's borders by the Trump administration in the Middle East. Peace had broken out. And the simple fact of the matter is that foreign policy might.
There was no peace in the Middle East. What the fuck are you talking about?
Been the brightest spot of the Trump administration, and Joe Biden has signally capitulated on a variety of issues, and he's created tremendous lack of clarity on others, and that lack of clarity leads to further conflict. And one of the key tenets of foreign policy is that lack of clarity leads to miscommunication. Miscommunication leads to people making bad assumptions. Those bad assumptions lead to actual dead people. This has been the history of foreign policy.
That's pretty much the entire policy of the Trump administration. I mean, how many people died from COVID because Trump refused to acknowledge it was a problem until it was way too fucking late, and refused to decline purchasing more doses of the vaccine,
ranging well back before World War I. And yet the Biden administration, where it's not wrong, it is unclear. And that is a serious, serious problem. It's true country to country. And so we've seen over the past few months an attempt by Joe Biden to prop up his foreign policy as sort of a key component of a successful administration. And yet I failed to see the success. So the most obvious example is that last week Joe Biden was out there and he was championing the idea that he had done a wonderful job in Afghanistan based on the killing of Ayman al-Zawahri. Okay, so the killing of Ayman al-Zawahri, who was the person in charge of al-Qaeda, this was a big win for Joe Biden. According to the media, according to the press, it was going to revitalize his hopes at a 2024 run.
Yeah, because we took out a massive terrorist leader. What's your fucking point? Yeah, I would be fucking fist pumping too if I was Joe Biden. What's your point, douchebag?
Revitalized democratic hopes in 2022. There's only one problem, which is that Zawahri was killed in the middle of Kabul. Here was Joe Biden championing all of the killing of al-Zawahri last week.
On Saturday.
What's your point?
My direction. The United States successfully concluded an airstrike in Kabul, Afghanistan that killed the emir of al-Qaeda, Ayman al-Zawahri. Now, justice has been delivered, and this terrorist leader is no more. People around the world no longer need to fear the vicious and determined killer.
Yeah, good. Score one for Biden. What's your fucking point?
The United States continues to demonstrate our resolve and our capacity to defend the American people against those who seek to do us harm.
Good.
Okay, well, all of that sounds very nice, except for the fact that he surrendered the entire country to people like Ayman al-Zawahri, which is why Zawahri was sitting, in the middle of Kabul.
He did not surrender the country to al-Qaeda or any terror. We spent 20 years trying to establish a democratic democracy and a government and military based on democracy in Afghanistan, and it just wasn't fucking working. Which is why within a week, the fucking Taliban was able to take over. Not because of anything we did. We did everything we could to help them. They were just a bunch of the people that in the government and military that we set up in Iraq and Afghanistan. They shit their fucking pants. The instant we left, and the Taliban just came in and took over. That had absolutely nothing to do with Biden. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
And to understand how badly Biden screwed up Afghanistan.
Biden did not screw up Afghanistan. Obama and Bush, Obama, and Trump screwed up Afghanistan. Biden, well, I guess technically Biden did. He was Obama's vice president, but I mean, Biden was a fucking pet to Obama, okay? I'm not saying I like Biden either, okay? He's a fucking dementia-ridden... I don't want to get... It's just... I don't like him either, okay? He was the lesser of two evils, unfortunately.
You have to understand that he's been wrong about pretty much every foreign policy issue of our lifetime. Joe Biden...
So... You know... Trump, you know about this guy named Donald Trump, right? You know, the guy that you just fucking bent over and just took his, like, political fucking, like, for 4 years? And you're criticizing Joe Biden?
Doesn't actually have any ideas of his own. The ideas that he has are just incorrect. Very often what Joe Biden does, he just follows the center of the Democratic Party. And so if the center of the Democratic Party is...
Mitch McConnell was literally caught on a hot mic by saying, he's a useful idiot. He'll sign anything we put in front of him. That's what he said.
Pro-Afghan war, he's very pro-Afghan war. If it becomes anti-Afghan war, he becomes very anti-Afghan war. And then he becomes very set in his own bad ideas, and the result is disaster.
His own bad ideas? My God, you guys fucking voted for Trump. The idiot who lied thousands. I think he averaged... Let's look this up. How many lies... Let me... Okay. According to the Washington Post, Trump's told 30,573. So let's get the calculator out. So 30,573 divided by 4. That's 7,643 a year divided by 365 days in a year. Trump's told almost 21 lies a day. 21 lies a day. And you want to talk shit on Joe Biden for lying? Fuck you. Every fucking word that came out of Trump's mouth was a fucking lie.
There's a reason why Joe Biden's approval rating tanked from like 50% down into the 30s during the Afghanistan debacle in 2021 and has not picked up yet.
I love how these guys tend to forget that it was... They always talk about how, the Democrats are negotiating with terrorists. It was the Trump administration that negotiated the withdrawal from Afghanistan with the Taliban.
Because it underscores the incompetence of this human being. So to understand Joe Biden on Afghanistan, you really have to go all the way back to like the initiation of the war in Afghanistan in the aftermath of September 11th. So Joe Biden...
Yeah, you know how Bush just stood there, like sat there frozen? Like the fucking knuckle-dragging Neanderthal that he is. Shocked and unable to move when somebody whispered that the country is under attack.
Was full-scale on board with the war in Afghanistan. So was pretty much everybody. There was pretty much nobody in Congress who was not on board with the war in Afghanistan.
Yeah, there was. You ever heard of Bernie Sanders? I'm going to look that up. I'm going to show you... I'm going to show you something here. Bernie Sanders, war in Iraq. Bernie Sanders, war in Iraq. Okay, watch this shit.
Gentleman from Vermont is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my friend from New Jersey for yielding. Mr. Speaker, I don't think any member of this body disagrees that Saddam Hussein is a tyrant, a murderer, and a man who has started 2 wars. He is clearly someone who cannot be trusted or believed. The question, Mr. Speaker, is not whether we like Saddam Hussein or not. The question is whether he represents an imminent threat to the American people and whether a unilateral American invasion of Iraq will do more harm than good.
Okay, yeah. Doesn't sound like Bernie was on board too much with the war in Iraq, but I'm going to fast forward here. Let me see if they pan out and show it. Okay, they don't show it here, but in this...
Should stand ready to...
Let me see if I can find another video real quick. I can't find... But you pan out, and there's just nobody there listening to him. Because nobody else gave a shit. That's how fucked up our government is.
And here was Biden circa September 14th, 2001.
If it requires the use of ground forces, I have no doubt you'll get support to do it. I'm not confirming this. Let's assume it turns out to be bin Laden and his organization. Any cell, any group, anything it takes, including using ground forces.
Okay, so it's all about bin Laden and his organization, whatever we have to do. Okay, and then the next month he says, we can't just go in there and then break a few things and leave. We have to be there for the long haul. Again, this was the typical Democratic Party position circa 2001.
That was also the Republican fucking position too, asshole. It was also the Republican position that kept us there for 20 years and resulted in, what was it? How many fucking deaths? Well, I don't even remember. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna look that up. What was the number again? Oh yeah, almost 900,000 deaths. God, I hate this sniveling fucking weasel.
The president has personally stated it to Senator Helms and to me, and I'm sure to others, that we have to be in this for the long haul. We can't, quote, drain the swamp and let it fill up again.
Okay, February 2002, same message, right? History is going to judge us. If we don't stay the course, we have to be there long haul.
The first real test of post-9/11 engagements is whether or not we're going to stay the course in Afghanistan. If Chairman Karzai is to govern effectively, the first thing he needs is security. The second is a plan, which is underway, to rebuild a military and a police force and an infusion of economic assistance just to do the basic things, like put in factories.
Yeah, and we tried that, and it didn't fucking work. And we just fucking stayed there. We stayed there because America just can't help but show the world how big our cock is, right? Yeah, we were there for 20 years because the fucking Republicans, that's why. Because they wouldn't let us leave. And after a while, even they were like, okay, let's just fucking give up on this.
Telephones, desk, paper, the things that are the necessary tools of governance in the most basic of ways. History is going to judge us very harshly, I believe, if we allow the hope of a liberated Afghanistan to evaporate because we are fearful of the phrase nation building or we do not stay the course.
I mean, that's an amazing statement by Joe Biden circa February 2002. History is going to judge us harshly if we are against nation building. Okay, well, as we'll see, that opinion has changed rather radically over time. So you fast forward about 6 years, and now the pitch from the Democratic Party is that the bad war is the war in Iraq and the good war is the war in Afghanistan, right? This is what is being pitched by, for
No, it's not.
example, the presidential candidate Barack Obama. Joe Biden has followed along in those footsteps, and so he makes that point in debate in October 2008. We're bogged down in Iraq. We need to do more in Afghanistan.
It's not a surprise at all that we have been significantly limited in our ability to deal with worldwide terror because we are tied down, bogged down in Iraq. Afghanistan is slipping toward failure because it has never been a priority, and it has to become one. We spend more money in 3 weeks on combat in Iraq than we spent on the entirety of the last 7 years that we have been in Afghanistan building that country.
Okay, so.
Okay, I love how he cut. That was a really well-edited cut. Look, here's the thing. Nobody in their right mind was for either of those wars. Okay? We initially went over there because we wanted blood for 9/11. We stayed over there because we wanted to get rid of Al-Qaeda and Bush wanted to finish Daddy's war. After a while, we all realized, hey, more people are dying day after day after day after day and nothing's happening. And as soon as we left, the Iraqi people, like, the population of Iraq vastly outnumbers, Al-Qaeda membership. But yet they let their fucking country fall to it. So it's like, after a while, we're like, we can either stay here and waste more money and let more people die, all because the population doesn't want to fight for their own country and freedom, or we can leave and cut our losses, which we should have done a long fucking time ago. Yes, it sucks that Al-Qaeda was able to take over at all, let alone so quickly, but it's like, are we just supposed to fucking babysit the new Afghanistan government forever? I mean, it might as well just become part of the fucking United States at that point.
That was the good war, right? Iraq was the bad war. Afghanistan was the good war. Then Obama takes office, and he continues with this line, right? Joe Biden starts talking about what exactly is our goal in Afghanistan? What are we doing there?
After my trip, President Obama ordered a comprehensive review of the policy toward Afghanistan and...
Yeah, because God forbid somebody changes their mind or their opinion based on new facts or experiences, right? Right, Ben? Right, Ben?
Pakistan.
Look at Biden, though. He looks just... like, he looks just like fucking Walt... Like, what is it? Jeff Dunham's puppet, Walter. Hold on. Oh, shit. I spelled Google with 3 O's. God damn it. Can't you just show me the fucking picture? Yeah, but look. It's even more than that. I'm sorry, I just found that funny. Okay, let's continue.
And we want to make sure that our goals are clear and achievable, because I would respectfully suggest none of you nor us could say precisely what our goal is.
Yeah, because we went in there half-cocked with no plan. What's the problem with getting in there, realizing what a clusterfuck it is, and then stopping to say, hey, what are we doing here? What's the plan? Like, I'm failing to see what's so bad about this, Ben.
Afghanistan. What is the goal?
Right, so now we shifted from nation building is worthwhile, and we should actually make sure this is not a terrorist safe haven. We should liberalize Afghanistan too.
Exactly.
We don't know our goal. In February 2011, moving forward a couple of years, Joe Biden says, we're definitely not going to leave, and we're just going to leave them in the lurch. We wouldn't do that sort of thing.
Let me say it plainly, Mr. President. It is not our intention to govern or to nation build.
Yeah, we didn't want to govern. And after a while, we realized, hey, what the fuck are we doing here? Let's go home. Okay, I'm done with Ben Shapiro. I can't handle any more stupid Ben Shapiro. I was doing better with PragerU. Okay, let's see. What the fuck else we got? Okay, this is an article from a website called Right Wing Watch. It is basically it's a left-leaning publication based on they basically call out the right on all the stupid shit they do. So let's see here. Steve Bannon wants conservative Christian poll workers inside the room for, quote, inside the room for the knife fight. Steve Bannon, former President Donald Trump's one-time chief strategist, appeared on a World Player Network prayer call last Wednesday. Wow, I'll say that 3 times real fast. Where he declared that every congregation in the nation must mobilize to ensure that Christians control the polling places in the upcoming midterm elections in order to prevent Democrats from stealing the election. That is super fucking illegal. Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know, or somebody outside the United States don't know, we're supposed to have what's known as the separation of church and state. Now, churches, along with nonprofit charities, they still have to file taxes even though they don't have to pay them. They file under what's known as a 501c3, which is basically we are a religious or charity organization exempt from taxation. There's some caveats and rules that go along with that. Mainly, you are not allowed to endorse or campaign for any particular party or candidate or ballot measure or whatever, especially from the pulpit. Now, you're allowed to encourage people to vote, like, you know, the whole souls to the polls thing, but you're not allowed to endorse or encourage people to vote in any particular way. What he's suggesting is basically getting rid of that. Bannon's... I hate how this big stupid banner up here is. I can't get rid of it. Bannon spent most of 2020 fear-mongering about the election fraud and supporting former President Donald Trump's baseless stolen election conspiracy theories. He revealed Trump's plan to prematurely declare victory to right-wing activists just days before election, reveling in the chaos it would cause, according to leaked audio reported by Mother Jones. Now, as we go into 2022 midterm elections, it appears Bannon's eager to cause more chaos. Of course he is. Because for those of you who don't know, Steve Bannon has what many right-wing political talking heads, they all have a similar backstory. Like Steven Crowder and fucking Steve Bannon, they came to Hollywood to try to make it as famous Hollywood people. They weren't talented. Nobody gave a shit about them because, not only were they not talented, they were annoying. I think it was George Clooney who said he always remembered Steve Bannon showing up uninvited to parties, doing whatever he could to try and sell scripts to people, and nobody cared because the script sucked. It was the same way with, was it Steven Crowder? Steven Crowder wanted to become a stand-up comedian, and he was just absolutely horrible at it. He sucked. He was terrible. Kind of like that lady we heard, earlier, just not as bigoted. Oh, she's not as bigoted as Steven Crowder. I want to make that distinction. And when they realized that, because they claimed to hate Hollywood, but they came to Hollywood wanting to be a part of Hollywood, and when they couldn't become part of Hollywood, they hated and just held on to that despise of people that they wanted to be with. They wanted to be like the big Hollywood fat cats, and when it was clear they wouldn't, they became right-wing talking heads, blaming the people who rejected them for anything and everything. On the prayer call, Bannon repeatedly cited Glenn Youngkin's election as governor in Virginia in 2021. He said the role the religious right... Let me start that out. He said the role that the religious right organization Faith Wins played in mobilizing churchgoers to serve as poll watchers and election work. Poll watchers is not... See, when they have elections, either local, federal, whatever, representatives from everybody who's on the ballot is usually at every polling place in order to... They're there to observe. They're not there to dictate how things go. They are only there to observe in order to make sure that, hey, transparency, nothing funny's going on, which there wasn't. But the way he's talking about poll watchers is sending people to stand outside poll watchers to report anything they deem as remotely suspicious, which is how you got those fucking reports of, stuffing ballot boxes or any of that other shit, which all of it was completely debunked, complete horse crap. That's what he's talking about here. Asked how confident he is that we're going to have full and fair elections in November, Bannon replied, "I'm not." Yeah, because it's the religious persecution complex. We're going to have to outvote the fraud. What? Okay, sorry. Just my brain kind of shorted out there on that one. You think there's fraud, but the people committing the fraud aren't going to create enough fraud to have the election go their way. So you think that you've got to outvote the what? If somebody is going to rig something, which they aren't, well, let's just say they're going to rig something to where they can guarantee whatever outcome they want. You can't outvote that, you dumb idiot. And we're going to have to outvote the money. You are the money. You are the money. The fucking Republican right lives. They are the money. And we're going to have to outvote their stealing. You guys are the thieves. You're the ones, you and people like you are ones constantly paying lower taxes, constantly getting government subsidies for every stupid thing you want to do. Everybody in our congregation should, besides going to the precinct strategy meetings, yeah, those aren't precinct strategy meetings. Those are meetings to develop intimidation tactics. They want to intimidate people outside of polling places. Get involved in the Republican Party as precinct committeemen This is really fucking scary shit. If we get in the room and start fighting over the count, that's where we're going to win it. No, yeah, so he wants to be in there. He's dog whistling. He says, we want to be in there so we can fix shit. You have poll watchers, which we need, but what we really need is poll workers. Yeah, because he wants them to fix shit. And you need to be inside the room. You need to be an election judge. No, you're not an election judge. Your job, when you are a poll worker, is to verify somebody is eligible to vote. That person then gives you a slip of paper. You then go over to another table. They then verify that, which then they give you your ballot. You go over, you fill in the bubbles, and as you're walking out, you feed the ballot into a little machine that locks the ballot down and adds the things you voted for to the tallies. That's how it works. When you're a poll worker, you have absolutely nothing to do with judging anything. There's still time to do that. We need people of faith. No, we do not. Every congregation in the nation can be all over this. No, that is absolutely fucking illegal. If Democrats can't cheat, they cannot win. You're talking about Republicans cheating, you idiot. My God, the lack of self-awareness and just the hypocrisy dripping off of this rotting sack of potatoes boggles my mind. They're going to try and cheat at every level, and that's why people of faith should be all over being elected. No, there's no such thing as an election judge. You have absolutely no authority over any election judging or investigation or anything when you're a poll worker. Your job is to maintain a line, verify somebody's allowed to vote, and then give them their ballot so they can vote. That's all you do. By declaring that Democrats cannot win if they cheat, Bannon is clearly trying to preemptively undermine the legitimacy of election won by a Democratic candidate. Yeah, because that's the thing. They plant the seed of conspiracy beforehand, and then when shit doesn't come out the way the right wants it to, they scream conspiracy. It's the way these assholes work. I can't go back to PragerU yet. Okay, I can't do Ben Shapiro either. All right, Florida lawmaker demands state physically prevent federal law enforcement from investigating or arresting Donald Trump. Anthony Sabatini, is that how you... Gotta be Italian or something. A Republican member of the Florida House of Representatives who is currently running for a seat in the United States Congress appeared on the Stu Peters Show Wednesday night to call for Florida law enforcement officers to arrest any federal law enforcement officials who might attempt to arrest Donald Trump. Donald Trump he is a private citizen. Just because he's a former president does not mean he's exempt or above the law. On Monday, the FBI searched Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence, which he's not even supposed to keep as a residence. It's a house that he converted into a country club, and the way he got the Florida government to allow him to do that is it was not supposed to be his permanent residence. Trump lives there for the majority of the year. As part of an investigation into handling of presidential documents, including classified documents, according to CNN. Yeah, it turns out he had classified documents relating to our nuclear weapons, which is a violation of the Espionage Act, which is a possible treasonous offense, which at the best gets a life sentence. Trump's not running because he wants to. You could tell Trump never expected to win. Trump is running because he thinks that's his get out of jail free card, not realizing that even if he does win, investigators will still be waiting for him at the end of his 4 years. Or he's hoping to get in and then change it to where he can just, anoint himself king. In response to Sabatini fired off a tweet demanding Florida sever all ties with the DOJ immediately. That's not how it works. It's this fucking secession shit that any FBI agent conducting law enforcement functions outside the purview of our state should be arrested upon sight. On Wednesday, 17, he joined far-right conspiracy theorist Stu Peters on his program to defend his proposal. Peters is a white nationalist promoting broadcaster who, how many of them aren't, you know? Despite using his nightly program to spread wild conspiracy theories and calls for violence, he managed to build close ties to various far-right political candidates and interview several elected officials, GOP candidates, and former members of the Trump administration. The first and easy thing to do is pass a law saying none of our sheriffs, none of our police, none of our state law enforcement is going to work with federal agencies, communicate with them, or recognize any of their authority. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. I hate to break it to you, but federal law enforcement and federal government has jurisdiction over the entire country. You don't just get to pick and choose when you can't do that. When you want to do that. If you do that, if you stop tax collectors, clerks of the... again, it's all this fucking secession shit. Everybody from operating with them, communicating with them, you leave them in the dark. We need to do that immediately. Does this guy not know the internet? The only way you can keep people out of the dark completely is to completely just cut them off from the internet. That's why the people in North Korea still hate us, because they don't know the truth about what's going on outside their borders. The second thing is much more controversial idea. That's using nullification, using the 10th Amendment to say if a federal agency is operating and performing so-called law enforcement functions, which is what they're pretending is what they did when they raided Mar-a-Lago, they have to gain state permission. No. They had a warrant. It wasn't a raid. They had a warrant. They were also trying to get these documents back before the raid. They didn't want to give them up, so they said, fuck you, we're going to take them. If they do that, we should treat them as trespassers and arrest them. If the FBI... See, it's rhetoric like this, which is why you've got these gun-toting dipshits outside FBI field offices threatening people or shooting people or just being intimidating law enforcement and keeping them from doing their jobs. The FBI is going to try and haunt Donald Trump and arrest him at Mar-a-Lago because he committed crimes, which I believe they're going to try and do in the next few months. If we don't stand up, we need to physically prevent these rogue federal... They're not rogue federal agencies. They're agencies doing their job, which is enforcing the law and investigating those who break it. Peters and me then agreed that there is no real difference between the FBI and secret police. Yes, there... Can everybody, left, right, and in between, just stop comparing everybody they don't like to the Nazis? It's just stupid hyperbolic bullshit. I think what the FBI is doing right now is a step towards being just a straight-up partisan police powers. A KGB government. Oh, the KGB government, kind of like, Putin, the guy that your Cheeto-in-chief just love to just suck off. Because that's all Trump did for 4 years. Him and Putin. This is my impression of Donald Trump every time he met Putin. Fucking hypocritical douchebag. Okay. Okay. Let's go with something, ironically enough, something a little lighter. Amazon workers walk off the job at air freight facility to call for better pay and working conditions. There is an Amazon warehouse getting ready to open up near where I am, and everybody's like, man, you should go there. So you could not fucking pay me enough money to work at Amazon. Where I work at now is bad enough as it is. At Amazon, they work you like a fucking dog. Okay. A coalition of Amazon employees walked off the job Monday at an air facility in San Bernardino, California, demanding better pay and working conditions in the latest sign that worker organizing efforts continue to spread across the tech giant's vast retail and logistics network. The group of workers organizing the walkout call themselves Inland Empire Amazon Workers United. and claimed in online protests that more than 150 employees participated in their coordinated work stoppage on Monday. Amazon, however, disputes this figure and said 74 workers took part in the walkout. By either measure, the demonstrators represented a small fraction of the 1,500 employees at the Amazon Air facility known as KSBD. Because that's the rhetoric that we've established in this country. That's the rhetoric we've established. You know, unions are bad, corporations are good, and people who fight for their rights are just selfish, lazy assholes. In a statement posted online by worker group organizers said they had amassed more than 800 signatures for a petition calling for the pay rate at the facility to be raised to $22 an hour, up from $17. Here's a fun little fact for my viewers. Because the way when minimum wage was first introduced, it was supposed to be adjusted and increased or decreased each year based on inflation and the cost of living. However, a certain group of people who shall remain nameless Republicans stopped us from ever doing that. That's why the federal minimum wage is still $7.25, $7.50 an hour. If they had increased it every year based on inflation and the cost of living like they were supposed to, then minimum wage would be over $25 an hour right now. The worker organization cited the rising rent and cost of living in the area. Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I grew up in California. It was fucking insanely expensive when I lived there. I can fucking imagine what it cost. Hold on, let's find out how much. All right, let's see what a 2-bedroom apartment in Long Beach. AP. Long Beach. Hold on. I got a script blocker that blocks unwanted scripts. Okay, so Long Beach, California. Let's sort by the lowest to high. Take a look at this place. So look at that. A shitty, rundown apartment. Let's see, how many square feet is this? 400 square foot apartment is almost $1,000. A shitty, low, like, rundown piece of crap apartment with barely enough room to fart in is $950. Look at this. $1,300, $1,300, $1,300, $1,325. A studio apartment, it's insane. Where's that? Where is it? Okay, there we go. In a statement, organizers claimed unsafe heat conditions remain in many work areas, noted that temperatures reached 95 degrees Fahrenheit or above at the San Diego Cargo Airport on 24 days last month. Yeah, it's really fucking hot. It's getting to the point to where I've refused, because there are things at my work that need to be done outside, and it's getting to the point to where on really hot days, I refuse to do it. Because you just can't. I can't do physical labor in fucking 100+ degree heat. Working in the heat feels like you're suffocating. Yeah, no shit. A worker identified as Melissa Ojeda, I'm probably butchering that, I apologize, said in a statement released by the group, "You need to take breaks and you can overheat real easily. They don't make it easy to take breaks to allow your body to cool down." Paul Flanagan, an Amazon spokesman, said in a statement provided to CNN Business that the company is proud to provide full-time employees at our San Bernardino Air Hub and throughout the region a minimum starting wage of $17 an hour. That's not even close for one person to be able to. Okay, $17 an hour. Let's do some calculations, shall we? Calculator. So let's say you're making $17 an hour and you're lucky enough to work 40 hours a week. That's $680 a week times 4. That's $2,700 a month. So let's subtract the $1,300. That leaves you $1,400 a month to pay your bills, buy your family food, all the clothes, everything else they need. That also doesn't include co-pays for healthcare, premiums for healthcare. That doesn't even include taxes. That doesn't even fucking include taxes. Let's try. So it's $2,720, okay? $2,720 average person between state, local, federal. You're paying about 25. Let's split the difference. Say 22% between state, local, federal, and income tax. So times that by 0.20. So 544. 7 minus 544. Yeah, you're bringing home $2,176 minus $1,350. Yeah, that leaves you $826 a month. I'll tell you right now, a family of 3, you'd be lucky if that covers your food costs. Especially considering a fucking gallon of milk now is more than a gallon of gas. And this isn't California we're talking about. And that's just for a 1-bedroom apartment. Realize how fucking uncomfortable it'd be having a family of 3, hell, even 4 in a 1-bedroom apartment? Okay. Flanagan added that full-time employees can earn up to $19.25 an hour and also receive industry-leading benefits and healthcare from day one. Nope. Nope. Wrong. Those benefits don't mean shit if you don't pay them enough to be able to afford living and, you know, the co-pays and premiums. With 401k with 50% company match. Yeah. But people can't afford to invest in the 401k if you don't pay them enough to live off of and have enough disposable income at the end of the month to be able to invest in it, you idiots. And up to 20 weeks of paid parental leave. I can tell you right now from experience, there are some really steep caveats behind that. While there are many established ways of ensuring we hear the opinions of our employees inside our business, we also respect the right to make their own... No, you don't. You do not respect their rights at all. Not at all. If you did, you wouldn't bake them like they're fucking bacon. Fry them like bacon. That's a better... While we're always listening and looking at ways to improve, no, you're not. No, you fucking aren't. Don't bullshit me. We remain proud of the competitive pay. That's another thing, competitive pay. It's like, you ever been looking for a job and they say competitive pay or, negotiable? It's like, I don't fucking care whether it's competitive and negotiable. Just give me a fucking number. Give me a number. Benefits of gaining safe work experience. We fired our teams and reached. No. The walkout comes in wake of unionizing efforts at other Amazon facilities. Earlier this year, workers at a Staten Island, New York warehouse voted to form the first union in Amazon's history. Amazon is currently attempting to have the election results thrown out. Of course they are. Amazon workers have also pushed to unionize at a facility in Bismarck, Alabama, and at Amazon Fresh location in Seattle. The ongoing organization efforts inside Amazon continue to draw support from labor advocates and progressive politicians around the country, including Senator Bernie Sanders, who has long been a loud critic of the company. Bernie would have whooped Trump's ass if the DNC hadn't pushed him out twice, by the way. I just want to make that clear. Hold on. Throat's getting kind of dry. I apologize. I stand in solid... I gotta do a Bernie voice. I stand in solidarity with the Amazon workers in San Bernardino, California, who walked off the job today to protest low wages and unsafe work conditions, Sanders tweeted Monday. He also referenced Amazon CEO Andy Jassy's total compensation package granted in 2021, adding, If Amazon can afford to pay its CEO $214 million last year, it can afford to give the workers a $5 an hour raise and a safe workplace. Absolutely. Man, it's going to be a sad day in our country when Bernie dies. Take care of yourself, Bernie. That's all I got to say. UK workers suffer biggest hit to their wages since records began. I want to try to go outside of, the US, my comfort zone. I want to kind of go over. I don't know why they're showing. Is there Dollar General in the UK? Just seems kind of a weird picture to post with. Anyway, because I can guarantee you that's not London. UK workers have suffered the biggest drop in their spending power in more than 20 years as prices kept soaring. Average real wages, which account for inflation, fell by 3% between April and June compared to the same period last year, according to data from the official national statistics published Tuesday. The real value of pay continues to fall. Excluding bonuses, it is dropping faster than at any time since comparable records began in 2001, Darren Morgan, director of economic statistics at ONS, said in a tweet. Regular pay, excluding bonuses, was up 4.7% between April and June, the ONS said, but the prices rising at a much faster rate, employees felt were worse off. Inflation has soared to 9.4%, a 40-year high, pushing the Bank of England to raise interest rates 6 times since December, and prices are projected to go even higher later this year. Tuesday, data from Kantar said the UK grocery price inflation hit 11.6% over the past 4 weeks, the highest level it's seen in 14 years of tracking data. The average annual shopping bills are up 533%. Yeah, so that just goes to show that when American politicians try to blame Biden for everything, this isn't just a U.S. thing. Inflation is up everywhere. Colossal rises in energy bills. The average annual bill already jumped by 54% this year to nearly £2,000, $2,414, have plunged millions of Britons into cost living crisis, forcing many to choose between heating or eating. Further pain is on the way. Annual energy bills for millions of households could top £5,000, $6,000 American dollars next spring, according to estimates by research. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Sorry. As real wages fall, the pressure on low-income families grows even greater. It's simply not... I got to do my British voice. It is simply not the right that people are having to make increasingly impossible decisions about which essentials to give up. Joseph Rowntree, the Joseph Rowntree Foundation, an anti-poverty charity, said in a tweet Tuesday. UK workers have been clamoring for pay raises in recent months to manage the squeeze. In June, thousands of rail workers went on strike to demand that their pay rose in line with inflation, and further walkouts are planned this week. On Tuesday, thousands of check-in staff at British Airways secured an average 13% pay raise after they threatened to go on strike. Unite, the workers' union said increase would help. But yeah. Increase, because let me tell you something, all right? All these companies, British, American, or otherwise, you increase the workers' pay, yeah, they're going to lose some money. But guess what? They're still going to have a lot of fucking money. So getting back to the lovely topic of student loan debts, Biden administration cancels another $9.3 billion in student debt for former for-profit colleges students. The Department of Education said on Tuesday that it will cancel $3.9 billion in student loan debt for 208,000 students who attended the now defunct for-profit ITT Technical Institute, bringing the total amount of loan discharges approved under Joe Biden to $32 billion. Yeah, so basically a drop in the bucket. Nothing to... Hold on, let's... What is federal student loan debt in the United States? Total amount of federal loan Federal student loans make up the vast majority of American debt. Yeah, because here's a fun little fact. In the richest country in the world, you know, one of the only countries where you're not guaranteed health care and a good education, the largest holder of private debt in the United States, in that country, is the U.S. Department of Education. Go fucking figure, right? Federal student loans make up the vast majority of American debt. Hold about 90% of all outstanding student loan debt is federal debt. Ha! More than 1.9 trillion. Yeah, so a drop in the bucket. An absolute drop in the bucket. Sure shit doesn't help me. The department of former ITT Tech students were already eligible for debt cancellation, but now the department will automatically cancel all remaining federal student loan debt that borrowers took to attend the school from January 2005 through its closure in September of 2016. For those of you who don't know, ITT Tech was a giant fucking sham. Like, if you grew up in the 90s, you couldn't get away, like the 90s and early 2000s, could not fucking get away from ITT Tech ads. They were fucking everywhere. ITT Tech shut down shortly after the government pulled the plug on its federal funding because it had failed to show it was in compliance with the certain accreditation standards. At the time, the school was subject of several state and federal probes over its recruitment tactics, lending practices, and job placement figures. It's time for student borrowers to stop shouldering the burden from ITT Tech's years of lies and false promises, said Secretary of Education. Here's an idea. How about it's time for everybody in the United States to have the right to a good higher education? How about that? It's time for student borrowers to stop shouldering the burden from ITT Tech's years of lies and false promises. The evidence shows that for years, ITT Tech leaders intentionally misled students about the quality of their programs in order to profit from federal student loan programs. To be honest, most colleges do that. Although most colleges are better at actually giving you education than ITT Tech, but a little better. Former ITT Tech students with federal student loans are eligible for cancellation even if they have not previously applied for relief under the Department of Education's Borrower Defense to Repayment Program, which offers cancellations to those who can show they have been defrauded or misled by their colleges. There may be some former ITT Tech students with outstanding debt who are not eligible because they attended the school prior to 2005. It is unclear how quickly borrowers will be notified whether their debt will be canceled. The Department of Education first needs to notify a borrower's student loan servicer before the cancellation, blah, 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 and call reporters to the Department of Education timeline. And college students who are granted debt relief in June. Yeah, so basically... So basically, it's a drop in the bucket, and it's not going to affect or help the overwhelming majority of student loan debt holders in the United States. Okay. Biden is expected to announce by the end of August whether he will more broadly cancel student loan debt for the 43 million federal student loan borrowers. Key Democratic lawmakers, including Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, have been calling for Biden to cancel $50,000 per borrower, but Biden has consistently pushed back on canceling that much and has suggested he would support wiping away $10,000 per borrower. Get rid of all of it, Joe. In line with the pledge he made on a campaign. No, get rid of all of it. 50,000 sounds about a good number. Let's start there. How about 10,000 a year? Until now, Biden has taken a more targeted approach to student loan debt relief. His administration has authorized the cancellation of $32 billion, more than any other administration, blah, 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 blah. Has also temporarily expanded the public student loan forgiveness program that forgives the debt of government and nonprofit workers after 10 years of payments. Because, fuck everybody who doesn't get a government job, right? I hate that. Income-driven repayment plans bringing millions of borrowers closer to forgiveness. I'm not any closer. Biden has also extended the pandemic-related pause on federal student loan payments. Several times, borrower balances have successfully frozen for more than 2 years with no payments required on most federal student loans since March, blah, 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 blah. Which goes to show if they haven't been collecting anything for 2 years on federal student loans, it shows that they don't need them. You could literally cancel out all federal student loan debt and it wouldn't affect it at all. Because they haven't been collecting on federal student loan debt for 2 years, which proves that there is nothing there's no government program relying on the collection of these loans. So forgive them and put in a program to replace the one we have now to where people don't have to go into massive debt in order to get an education. The pause is set to expire on August 31st, but Biden is yet to decide whether he will extend it again. Americans' attitudes towards debt relief are sharply divided along partisan and generational lines. A majority of Democrats in May poll and an even wider majority of self-described liberals say the government is doing little on student loan debt, while only a third of Republicans and self-described conservatives alike say the same. One moment, please. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, so basically, it's a drop in the bucket. Politician doing the absolute bare fucking minimum, and people are like, the media is gonna suck them off for it, and nothing will ever get done. Oh, God, how many fucking Ben Shapiro videos? I can't do all this. I'm gonna put all the Ben Shapiro things in here. I'm gonna pick one of these. I can't handle. What the fuck was I thinking I could do fucking 4 Ben Shapiro videos? Oh my God. All right, let's go back to right-wing raw. Well, you know what? No, I can't. Let's make fun of an idiot. Make fun of an idiot. Okay, let's get rid of those guys and that guy. Hey, you got a little peek in the future. David Ladding, I think this is his name. This guy is a psychotic. Like, whenever, not all people who are Christian or believe in Jesus are Jesus freak. This guy is the epitome of Jesus freak. Like this guy is like into Jesus to an absolutely terrifying degree. Like, this guy has I'm trying not to shit on him too hard, because this guy obviously has a lot of mental health issues that he needs help with. But okay, this is this dude's TikTok. Let's verify to continue. Verify to continue. All right, whatever. That was dumb. Yeah, so let's take a look at this idiot's. Let's look at his most recent one.
You don't feel like a good Christian today. Well, it doesn't
Nope, because I'm not a Christian.
matter, because it's the blood that makes you right before God.
Yeah, this guy's really into like blood of Christ and all that other shit, which is creepy in and of its own.
The only thing that justifies you is not your works, is not if you pray enough, is not if you fast enough or do enough.
Oh, by the way, this fucker loves 2 things. He loves saying a bunch of vague, nonsensical bullshit while playing a bunch of really dramatic kind of music in the background. And you'll see in later videos, this dude just loves to cry on demand. Like, he just weeps over the dumbest shit.
Things, the only thing that saves you is the blood of Jesus.
No, the only thing that saves me is my own ability to sustain, my own existence. Okay? Jesus isn't real. The whole resurrection thing isn't real. It's all a load of horse shit that you've obviously bought hook, line, and sinker and have devoted your useless, brain-dead life to. Now, I want to make it clear that I don't think that of all Christians or all people who are religion. I'm talking about people like this guy who mentioned Jesus 500 times in a 20-second conversation, and just every fucking thing they do, they think, live, breathe Jesus 24-7.
The only thing that saves you is the blood of Jesus.
It doesn't make it true if you repeat it slower.
Stop trying to work your way to God.
Doesn't God literally say, like, there's a literal part of the Bible where God tells slaves to worship their owners as they would God. So isn't that kind of working your way to God?
He did all of it. He did.
No, he didn't. I did. I have everything I have. I'd say about 25 to 30% of it was people in my life, family that helped me along the way. But the biggest majority of it was me. God had absolutely fuck all to do with it.
He did all of the work on the cross. It is finished.
Okay. So that should give you a good idea. Let's see what else, the title here. I believe in righteous anger because it's been an idle. Wake up. More blood of Jesus. Okay, let's see. Yes, I'm insulting your this ought to be good.
I can't explain this. There's ripples.
I'm disappointed, David. No dramatic music, no close up where you're talking slowly to stupid dramatic music and singing vague shit. Let's see.
Happening in the water with no explanation. I think it's a miracle. Look, the ripples just formed. Nothing happened. It just keeps happening. There it happened again. Literally, ripples are forming. And the cause is literally nothing. Nothing is causing these.
Okay, I can't tell whether he's true. I'm looking at the comments and I'm guessing this is a troll. So let's just
ripples. Now, a couple years ago, we discovered that the universe is expanding, and there was.
We actually discovered that decades ago, dude. I don't know where the fuck you've been, other than with your head up your own ass.
Starting point, and now, like when a rock is thrown into a lake or river, ripples happen. They start small but expand.
This guy has no idea what he's talking about. If that wasn't abundantly clear already.
And the universe, you can say, has ripples. And it's expanding. If you do not believe in a God or a creator.
I don't.
You believe that this ripple, there's no cause for it.
No, it's the universe organically doing things as things shit. It's basically the old adage of shit happens, but on a cosmic scale. See, this idiot is trying to project his stupidity on us. Don't let him do it.
An atheist, ready? What a nice day, right? Yeah. Wow. I wonder where that rock came from.
The rock came from the planet forming millions and billions of years ago.
Nothing. I can't explain this.
That's where he leaves it off at? Oh my god, dude. Again, another Christian just completely not understanding. I want to get back to one of these dramatic videos. All right, let's try Wake Up. We'll do one more and then.
You know, I've heard a lot of cheesy messages in my life.
Oh, like Jesus walked on water and was born from a virgin and died and was resurrected 3 days ago and is somehow himself but also his own dad.
I can make a sermon out of anything.
Yeah, I've noticed. You guys can find persecution in anything and everything around you.
It's not that hard.
Nope. Otherwise, assholes like you wouldn't exist.
You see this candle?
Okay, where's he going? I'm actually curious to find out where he's going with this. Let's scratch my ear and then let's find out.
It smells good, but if I were to eat this candle, it would taste horrible.
What the fuck are you talking about, dude? What the fuck? Like, this guy, I'm honestly can't tell whether this guy is actually genuine in his beliefs or if this is just a troll. If this is just a because if this is a massive troll, then dude, good on you.
That's how most of you guys are. You smell and look beautiful.
This guy obviously hasn't ridden a subway or a public bus.
The taste, the inside, is actually toxic.
Okay, I'm not getting the candle analogy here, dude. I mean, I think I know what you think it means, but it just doesn't make sense the way you think it does.
Yeah, I hate that stuff.
You want to get to a point here, dude?
You know what's real?
Not God.
Jesus is coming back.
No, he's not. Jesus is not coming back. Because he never existed. See, that's another thing. It's like these guys, like, it's the persecution. In order for any religion to work, I don't care what religion it is, every religion says you will be persecuted. And whether they're 100,000% that religion in a certain country, they will still claim persecution because the narrative doesn't work unless you're being persecuted, especially in Christianity, which is the cult that I was drug up in.
That's terrifying.
No, it's not. It's just as stupid as expecting Santa to come down the chimney and give you toys.
He's not a man in the sky that you'll never meet.
He doesn't exist at all.
You know, I've heard a lot of cheese.
Okay, well, all right, so let's just solidify this asshole's hypocrisy. I've decided to become... I swear, I laughed my fucking balls off when I read this. I've decided to become an unpaid missionary. So I've started a GoFundMe so you can pay me. Oh, I fucking love it. I fucking love it. The lack of self-awareness is just like, and hypocrisy is just absolutely outstanding. My name is David Ladding, and God has called me to be an unpaid missionary, which is why you should give me money. I was raised in a church but grew to hate it. Really? I knew every doctrine but always tried to refute it. Yeah, because you used to have a brain before you allowed it to drop out of your ass. I thought I understood Jesus, but I never really knew him. No, you didn't. My story is the same as thousands, but my outcome is drastically different. You see, God radically changed my life at the age of 16. No, he didn't. I struggled with atheism and was headed down a road where I thought Christians only use God as a cosmic vending machine. Yeah. No, they don't use him as a cosmic vending machine. They use him as a cosmic ATM, because that's the whole point. It's money and power. That's all religion has ever meant to do. The Catholic Church in the Middle Ages actually sold tickets to heaven. Like, you could do whatever you want, and as long as you pay this ticket to the church, you can get into heaven. That was... Okay. I began to believe Christians were weak-minded people not able to handle the reality of death. No, Christians like you are weak-minded, not able to handle the reality of death. But God confronted me with that question. What happens after I go? Everybody thinks that, dude. You're not special. Is that just it? Yeah. I mean, it's not a pleasant thought to think, but when you go, you go. That's it. You're born from dirt, you return to dirt. You become fuck all. So I began to research this stuff. No, you didn't. If this was truly real, it's not. I began to realize the evidence for God is all around us. No, it's not. The theory of evolution was not holding up. Yes, it was. Yes, it is, I should say. All the lies I was so quick to believe. Oh, you mean like, you know, how God walked on water and hung his son on a cross and blah, 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 blah. And on a cool summer night when I was 16 years old, I encountered God like I have never before. Okay, people, strap in. Since then, you're not going to elaborate on that. Oh, okay. Since then, my life has been full of God and his power. No matter how hard I try to run away from the calling he has placed me on my life, I am unable to escape it, and now I am fully accepted. No, you've just created a cult around the idea of being special. I am not a normal 18-year-old. You're not normal at any age, dude. I had to break it to you. I was headed to Lee University to study theology and pastoral ministry. No, you weren't. That you were there to party and have them hand you a degree, because that's what all or most or religion-based universities do, I should say. But decided to drop out and walk away from my scholarship and to the calling of the Lord. I have decided to say no to the Western definition of success and say yes to God's definition of success for my life. I have decided to be an unpaid evangelical ministry. Yeah, that's why I need $15,600. I have spread the gospel to around 16.4 million people on social media. No, you haven't. You don't have anywhere near that many followers. And that is not a made-up number. Yeah, it is. I gained 1,400,000 people on TikTok and 121,000 followers on Instagram. By only spreading the gospel of Jesus, I have received 66,000 likes. Or 66 million likes on my post collectively, and I'm not even close to being done. That means fuck all, dude. You know these numbers can overlap, right? And just because you have 66 million likes on your post doesn't mean that a single person can't like multiple things. That doesn't add up to 16.4 million. With these great numbers of support, I have received even greater numbers of backlash and hate. No, you've received greater numbers of criticism. That's what you've received. I received thousands of death threats a month and thousands of hate speech comments. Citation needed. Citation needed on the death threats. The hate speech comments, I'm willing to bet those aren't comments. That's just people proving you wrong and calling you out on your bullshit. The censorship I receive is ridiculously absurd. Really? You mean the kind of censorship that allows you to have TikTok and YouTube and Twitter and a GoFundMe campaign where you claim to be an unpaid missionary, yet you're asking for almost $16,000? Where they can't silently, I'm moving to the nations, to high schools. I am moving my ministry not online, but in affect the world in person. Read more. With this calling comes the need of support. I'm unable to live my life. I am unable to live my life without people like you. Money is for me to live and continue calling it God. That's you getting paid, you idiot. That is you doing a job and getting paid to do it. That's not an unpaid ministry. Oh my God. With this calling comes the need of support. I'm unable to live. Blah, blah, blah. Watch, haha, this all God has placed on my life. I will not be buying a new watch, haha, this all goes to the ministry. Yeah, you are the ministry. That's what it is. I'll be joining One Voice Student Missions team to spread the gospel to lost teenagers here in the USA. I'll be preaching around the country to inspire the generation, show me blah, 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 blah. Thank you all for reading this far and hearing belief. If you decide to give or be a monthly giver to my life ministry, I will continue to update with blah, 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 blah. My life won't be a mystery to you. And oh yeah, because people like you just love showing off all you do. You will know everything that is going on. I doubt that. And where your money is being pulled to, I doubt that even more. You will be informed. No, you won't. No, we won't. If you want to be a monthly supporter, I would love to hop on a FaceTime call with you. DM on Instagram at David Ladding. This is my calling at the Lord, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, this guy wants to be an unpaid minister. I just realized this guy got 429 people. Let's see if we've gotten any more. Okay, nope. I set this up a couple hours ago. He hasn't got. Let's do some coagulations. So 11343 divided by 429. The average donation this asshole gets is $26.50. $26.50 this walking Thorazine ad has gotten people to give him. All right, so we're almost to. Should I do another bit? I don't know if I can handle another. I can't handle. Maybe we'll do that next time. I can handle another PragerU. I can't do another. I can't handle more Ben Shapiro. I've reached my Ben Shapiro limit for today. I'm sorry. I know, disappointed. I'll do this PragerU video. Okay, so let's do 1.5 playback speed. Okay.
Something ain't right, and we all know it. Are we just going to give up on the greatest country in the history of the world? Or
what does that mean, actually? The greatest country in the world. We're not the freest. We incarcerate more people per capita than any other country on the planet. Our test scores are in the toilet. We routinely score in the middle or even towards the bottom in many areas such as science, math. I'm so stupid I can't even think of science, math, reading, all those things. There are soldiers. I live in a town that has a military base near it, and so I'm behind soldiers in line at the grocery store quite often. And the number of times I've seen a soldier pull out a fucking food stamps card, it's like, we have the highest military budget in the fucking world. And yet, we don't pay our soldiers enough to feed themselves or even their families?
we're going to fight for freedom and a thriving future. They always tell us that we're at a once-in-a-lifetime pivotal moment. But this time, they're actually right. You know it, I know it, you know it.
Oh, Dave Rubin. Oh, Dave Rubin, the Koch brothers' little lap boy. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, this guy used to work at the Young Turks, which is pretty much the left-wing version of Fox News. And then he showed his real colors when the Koch brothers offered him money to spew their bullshit. Which, I mean, while it's a douchey thing to do, I mean, somebody offered me freaking millions of dollars to do a sing and dance pony act. I mean, I'd like to say I'd say no, but in the moment, I'm not sure what I would actually do. But yeah, this should be interesting.
But I know it, I know that you know it, and they know we all know it. So what are we going to do about it? Well, I've got a few ideas.
Oh, I'm sure you do, David. Let's hear them.
First off, be an individualist.
No. Individualist is like the worst thing you could do. It's the Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged, my way or the highway line of thinking that will and has already fucked us over immeasurably.
The American Heritage Dictionary defines an individualist as one that asserts individuality by independence of thought and action.
Yeah, which is a dumb thing to do. Being an individualist is a bad idea. We need to be a collective. We need to think independently, but we need to work together is what I'm trying to say. Because I hate collective thought, but collective in terms of like actually working together for a better society, that is always a better option.
That sounds self-centered. It is. But why is that bad?
Because it's stupid.
Everything in your life starts with you, your attitude, how you project yourself to the world, whether you take responsibility for your own actions.
What the hell does any of this have to do with anything?
The founders of America sought to create a government whose primary purpose was to protect the freedom of the individual.
No, their idea was to be a bunch of rich, white, bunch of rich, white, land-owning, slave-owning, coked-up alcoholics who thought all men except all non-white men should, like... Here's the thing. When the first presidential elections were held, and there were millions of people in the United States, less than 100,000 were allowed to legally vote. That's the kind of government these guys set up.
After that, as far as George, Ben, and Tom were concerned, you were on your own.
No. That's not true at all, and you know it.
Nobody saw this more clearly than the 19th century French writer Alexis de Tocqueville.
Who gives a fuck what a French writer thinks? This is the United States, asshole. I love how these guys like shit on France until they find somebody to toe their line for them.
He came to America to see what all the commotion was about and was absolutely blown away. This new American democracy, what he called the equality of conditions, was not merely a new way to govern, he realized, but a new way to live. For de Tocqueville, American individualism was not about being self-centered.
Yeah, it is.
But about being self-reliant.
No.
Government can't guarantee your happiness, but it should guarantee your right to pursue it.
No, what the government needs to do is create a system where the government needs to, like, the things you need to survive, your healthcare, the food in your mouth, the roof over your head, the clothes on your back, those are things that should not be part of the profit motive. That is what the government should regulate. What government should stay away from is the shit you want, like the fancy cars and the nice sneakers and the video games and all that other stuff.
This is the only way to make progress on a national level and still be authentically inclusive. Because where true freedom exists, there will be individualism. And where individualism exists, there will be true freedom. But being an individualist is just the start. You must also be a family. There are lots of ways.
No. Fuck families. I'm sick of this Republican idea of, oh, we've got to prop up families. No. Where's the benefits for guys like me who didn't shoot another fucking kid out into the world, you know, to use up more resources we don't have? Oh, here's an idea. How about we disincentivize people, that's the word, people from having kids, and give the benefits to the people who don't have kids. Take care of the kid, obviously, but don't incentivize the parents to have more kids, because then the fewer kids we have in our welfare state, the more we have to benefit fuck families, fuck having kids. They're both stupid ideas. Let's just continue on.
To measure the strength of a society, but family has to be at the top of the list.
No, it doesn't.
This hit me very deeply one night during Jordan Peterson's worldwide lecture tour.
Oh my God, Jordan Peterson. For those of you who don't know, Jordan Peterson is what the right thinks is some kind of deep intellectual, like, Marxist kind of, deep thinking messiah, when in reality, he's nothing more than a brain-dead, right-wing religious zealot who knows next to nothing about anything he talks about, but he's very articulate and able to spin bullshit into something that sounds intellectual. So stupid right-wing douchebags like this guy, it's like, that makes a lot of sense.
In 2019, which I hosted, Jordan and I were leaving the theater after our show in Dublin, Ireland. Two men ran towards us. Wiping tears from their eyes, they told us their story. They were a father and son. Several years before, they had a huge falling out. On their own personal timelines, they had both bought Jordan's book, 12 Rules for Life, and began fixing up their lives. Separately, they had attended the show. As thousands of people exited the theater, they saw each other in the crowd, and right then and there, after so much time and so much heartache, they embraced and made amends.
I'm calling bullshit on that. I'm going to file that in under the file of things you just pulled out of your ass in order to make you sound right. Because I guarantee you, the Hollywood reunion, teary-eyed shit at the end of a movie situation that you've just painted right here didn't fucking happen. I am willing to bet everything I have owned or ever will own on the fact that you just made that up.
The family bond was restored. So how important is family? According to a 2019 American Enterprise Institute survey, which asked participants to rank attributes of the American dream, a good family life...
The American dream is bullshit anyway. You know, work hard, create the nuclear family, buy a house. That is a cake. That's a pipe dream for most Americans, okay? I think George Carlin said it best when he said that that's why they call it the American dream, because you got to be asleep to believe it.
Ranked number 2, right behind freedom of choice. It's no surprise. It's within the nurturing bonds of family we learn to deal with the world.
No, it's with having... How do I put this so an idiot like you will understand it? It's empathy. The key is empathy. The whole do unto others philosophy, the golden rule. Do unto others as they would have them do unto you. You don't need a religion or a god for that. That's just a useless, unnecessary middleman.
Once you have your head screwed on straight and you've made things right with your family, then you're ready to move on to the next level of real social improvement.
What is social improvement? That another shitty Tim Allen show?
Be a community. There are all kinds of communities. It's your church or your synagogue. It's your neighbors. It's the girls you meet for brunch or the guys you play basketball with. It's the group of people that know you and care about you, and you care about them.
What does that have to do with anything?
Next to breathing and maybe a couple other things, I don't know what's more essential than that.
Yeah, humans require social interaction. That we agree
When
on.
George Bailey's brother toasts George at the end of the classic movie It's a Wonderful Life to the richest man in town, we know exactly what he's talking about. George's community. Are you catching?
No, he's talking about being loved. That's what he means. His wife and his kids love him. Now, he might be receiving that love from a family, but that doesn't mean everybody needs a family in order to receive that love. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
The theme here? When individuals are healthier, the family is healthier, and in turn, so is society. It's obvious. We know it. Which is why those on the left oppose all of it. Every piece.
No, we don't. We don't oppose... Hold on, what was that?
So is society.
Well, let's go through that one by one.
Community. Are you catching the theme here? When individuals are healthier, the family is healthier, and in turn, so is society. It's obvious. We know it. Which is why those on the left oppose all of it.
No, we don't. You guys are the ones constantly fighting back against reforms that will stop people from becoming addicts or recover people who are addicts or extend mental health care or, hey, how about actual health care? You know, like the doctor, you know, the thing that most people can't afford to go to. That's the shit you oppose. The left doesn't oppose that. You oppose that, Dave. You oppose that.
Every piece. They despise the free-thinking individual. They denigrate the family, and they have no true understanding.
They despise the free-thinking individual? Dude, people like you wouldn't exist if there were people who weren't willing to let you think for them. Your entire fan base is people who thrive on letting other people think for them. That's the business you're in.
Community. For the left, your identity group, your skin color, your sexual preference, determines who you are and how you think.
Yeah, no shit. I'm not going to think in the same way that a black person or a gay person or a trans person is. So what? That doesn't mean we still can't be a part of the same community. That doesn't mean we can't still be a part of a collective that works towards a better society for everyone.
This identity at your peril. If you're black and you're conservative, well, as one elderly gentleman put it, you ain't black.
When did... I want to fact check that. Work on... on. Did he actually say that?
The former
problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my.
Yeah, that was a dumb thing on Biden. I'm gonna give you that one.
Before they scrubbed it from their website, Black Lives Matter bragged that they were all about deconstructing the nuclear family. You know,
yeah, good. Because the idea of the nuclear family is dumb.
Mom, dad, and the kids. As for community, it's too independent and too traditional. The left demands that you be part of the collective, a hive mind where everyone thinks the same.
No, we encourage the people I associate with anyway, encourage individuality, while we also encourage doing things that for the betterment of everyone around you. I love how he thinks the right does. I mean, yeah, the majority, I'm gonna give him that. The majority of the left does engage in a hive mind, but so does the right. You guys thrive off a hive mind.
Anyone outside the hive mind must be shouted down, harassed, or canceled.
Kind of like how Liz Cheney, when even though she voted with Trump's agenda 93% of the time, just lost her primary because she dared to stand up against Trump's attempt to overthrow the United States government.
Is that the world you want to be part of?
No.
How about this instead? Be an individualist. Be a member of a family.
You can't be an individualist and be a member of a family. They want to talk about community, but they also want to say about being individuals. Which one is it? Which one is... I keep calling him Ben. I don't even remember what this little fucking... Dave, that's it. Dave Rubin. That's what this little prick's name is. What is it, Dave? Do you want people to be an individualist or do you want people to be part of a community? Can't have both, motherfucker.
be part of a community. You know what that sounds like to me? America.
No, that is not America. America is a country by the poor for the rich.
I'm Dave Rubin, author of Don't Burn This Country.
Okay, that's it. I've had my level of stupidity today. Okay. If you're watching this and you like what you're seeing, links below: Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Patreon, PayPal, all that stuff. Thank you guys for watching. Love y'all. Peace out.